Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Sound Journey, the podcast where we hear the stories behind the music and the people God is using through it. I'm your host, Jeremy, and thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time listening, welcome. This podcast is all about hearing the stories behind the music, the journeys people have been on, and how God has worked in their lives. So, today, I'm joined by two special guests of mine, Elliot. Thank you both so much for being here. So, before we get started, how are you both doing today? So I'll start with Ashley first, please.
I just want to say, thank you for having me on. I'd say I'm doing quite well, doing better now that I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Thank you. Now you, Elliot. How are you doing today?
Thank you for this opportunity for this podcast. It's all good. I'm fine, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. There's been a lot going on, but yeah, it's all good. So, for anyone listening who might not know you yet, would you mind introducing yourselves? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where people might know you from. So, I'll start with you, Ashley, again.
Okay, so I go by Ashley Rua on most social media handles, but most people know me from TikTok. Usually you'll see me playing keys. I'm quite passionate about keys. Because I'll describe myself as a church instrumentalist. I'm quite passionate about instruments. So the kind of content I make, usually you see me playing keys, talking about keys, maybe complaining about keys, everything keys related, sometimes even bass. But that's mainly me. And I like to go live a lot on TikTok. But that's me summarized.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Elliot?
Hi guys, my name's Elliot. I go by Elliot Music on TikTok, or basically all my socials. Most people know me, they call me E Sharp Music. You guys get the joke, ha ha ha. Basically, what I'm known is because I'm a church instrumentalist as well. I play the drums for like 15 years, and I'm starting to learn the keys since because I've made the commitment from this year. I want to start learning how to play the keys. I'm known on TikTok quite a bit. I'm still building my page, but I got quite a fan base there. I'm known on Instagram as well. Got quite a fan base as well. But, yeah.
Thank you so much. So this is to both of you. Anyone can start, really. So what do you guys enjoy doing the most? Anyone can start. If you want, actually, you can start if you want.
Sorry, could you say the question one more time?
So the question was, what do you enjoy most about what you do?
Oh, okay. I would say this might sound a bit cliche, but I enjoy literally playing keys the most. Like, for instance, let's say I'm on live. I always say when I'm on live, I'm doing what I'd normally be doing, just enjoying my keys. And then there's also people that also just happen to be there. But I feel like because I play keys online, it also does motivate me to spend a lot of time just playing keys. Because at the essence of it, that's what I love. That's why I started my page. I love keys. But yeah.
Yeah, I can get that because you obviously know, I also play a lot of keys and everything. So yeah, I kind of get what you mean about that. And what about you, Elliot?
I like playing the drums. I have a very big passion of playing the drums. I always have this mentality of like playing drums for different bands such as Warehouse Worship Music, Called Out Music, Johnson, Nathaniel Bassey, but we're getting there. It's by God's grace. I like going live on TikTok a lot, either because I'm known. There's a group I've like made. It's called Directed by Jesus. So this is a group where we all go on live, spreading the gospel, doing worship lives. We have different instrumentalists around the world, Belgium, different instrumentalists, basically. And I'm just so grateful to God that I've been given this opportunity. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much. So, let's go right back to the beginning. How did your journey into music start? So I'll begin with Ashley again.
How did my journey into music start? It's actually, so I started learning how to play the piano or the keys, if you would, about 4 years ago. So I
Wow.
think I was probably like an early teenager back then.
Mm,
And at my church, there was nobody who played keys. There nobody played drums as well, but I feel like especially keys. So I was like, okay, no one else is playing keys here. Let me learn. The interesting thing is, at that point in time, when I was playing keys, I was just kind of doing it to fill a gap, not because I was passionate about it.
okay.
So that's why sometimes when people ask me how long I've been playing, I prefer to say 2 years, because 2 years in is when I really started to properly become passionate about it. But yeah, that's how it started. And now 4 years in, I'm loving it.
Okay, that's good. So, was there anyone who inspired you within the start?
Was there anyone who inspired me? I'd say kind of growing up, just watching the musicians from like other branches of my church play, that was quite motivating because I'd always go to like conferences and then I would listen to them play and I'd be like, oh, one day I'm gonna reach a similar level. And now kind of even just playing with them, I always think back on it sometimes and I'm like, wow, there was a time when I was just a little girl and I was like, this is so cool. Like I want to do this at some point. So yeah, I'd say they inspired me quite a lot.
Mm, thank you so much. Now, Elliot, what about you?
I started playing drums 15 years ago. You know the step by step one, the pots and pans. Started doing
Yeah.
those
Mm,
first, obviously, just to get familiar with the drums. Then gradually, I think it was age 3, I started to play drums after service. So, watching them, exactly what Ashley said, watching the musicians play in service and literally learning what I've been taught after service, if you get what I mean. So actually fall in love with the drums. And then age 5, I think I started to play for my home church. And now I'm almost 18. I'm playing for different churches by God's grace. And I'm practically leading a band. I don't want to get ahead of myself yet, but I'm joking.
okay, thank you so much. Would you say your journey is similar or completely different to Ashley's?
My journey is very similar to Ashley's. I
Mm,
feel like every musician, they might have like a um, similar take on playing the drums, playing the keys, play any instrument.
okay,
In my opinion.
yeah. Thank you so much. Now, after hearing your stories, I'd like to ask, what made you choose the instruments that you're playing right now? I'll ask Ashley first.
Hmm. Okay, I'd say growing up, before I ever even touched a keyboard or a piano, I always kind of had a fascination with it because something about it is just so classy, so elegant. I don't know what it is,
Mhm.
but I've always been like, if I could play a piano like that, oh, I would feel like I've won in life. But
Yeah.
I, I also wanted to learn bass though, but that was kind of something that I became interested in a bit later after already knowing keys.
Mm,
And it just feels like it's one of those instruments that's just kind of, should I say kind of cool? You know when you see bass guitarists and they're just playing and they're so
yeah.
nonchalant. It's like, well, I want to try that. I want to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it difficult to learn them?
I would say the keys was definitely something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like in the start, the keys, it used to frustrate me because in my head, there's a certain way I wanted to play. Like, I had a certain sound in my head,
Mm,
but I didn't know how to bring it out. So I would just kind of get frustrated sometimes. I remember one time I was playing at a conference, my church's conference in Easter, and we played after one service. And my MD was like, "How do you think you played?" Everyone was like, "Oh, you played good." And me, I was like, "I don't know." And the reason I was like that was because from the outside looking in, it might look like I'm playing well,
Mm,
but in my heart of hearts, I know I can do better, if that kind of makes sense. So I've always kind of had that fight with piano and with keys. But I think now I'm at a point where I feel like I'm getting closer to the sound I want to achieve. So now it's quite satisfying to play and quite exciting. Bass was a lot less challenging
mm,
in the way that I think it's still difficult, but it
yeah.
hasn't really like stressed me the way that keys has stressed me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Because even me, I'm trying to learn bass and it's hard. It's really, really hard. So
Hmm.
now, Elliot, what about you?
So for me, I'm gonna start with keys first,
Mm.
because I'm currently learning keys. Keys has been exactly it's keys is something like sometimes it's a headbanger and sometimes it actually makes sense. Do you get what I mean? The times where it makes sense, I remember the first time when I heard this tune, I'm gonna call this tune Touch the Hem. I've always
Mhm.
been rinsing this tune, and you guys know about this.
Yes,
I
I do.
always like playing this tune because I don't there's a deeper meaning behind these tunes I always play,
Mm.
and I don't know it yet, but I'm sure I would know it by that point because I always love playing those tunes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what brought me to keys and watching the keyboard play call out the numbers. For example, I'm gonna call out, for example, 2244 665. I know you guys know about that one. Um,
Mm.
that was my favorite line.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm automatically interested because it's such a great job to be like to lead the band. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me to actually do it on drums, it's not more than a flex, it's a gift. It's a talent as well that God has given. So when it comes to drums, I like playing the drums, but I watch other musicians play drums. And for me, I just love noise. Like I love loud stuff. So I love banging the drums. I just love watching people play drums and then learning what I played. That develops my passion for drums.
So do you
Yeah.
think that is that's the reason why you're that is gosh. So do you think the reason why you believe that instrument gosh no, let me rephrase that. Sorry. So that instrument that you're talking about, the reason you gave us, do you think that's the reason why it stands out to you?
Yeah, for me, that's the reason why it stands out. And also that God has given, because I believe God has given all of us, every musician watching or every musician in this world, God has given us all a talent or
Yeah.
like a gift. And we can't, and one thing someone told me, we can't let this gift go to waste
Yeah.
at all. We can't let this gift go to waste. So do something. My advice is to the people watching: do something with your gift because you can't let that go to waste. Don't abandon your drums. Don't abandon your keys. Do not let that go to waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, as you probably might know, faith is a big part of this podcast. So, I'd like to ask, how's your relationship with God shaped your journey as a musician? So, this time I'll start with Elliot.
For me, it's been a kind of an off and on thing with this TikTok industry thing. With this directed by Jesus movement, I feel like I have a lot of prophetic friends and I have a lot of great friends. For example, shout out to Lisa, shout out to Josiah, shout out to even Ashley, shout out to everybody, Ashanti. They all believe in me and they all want to see me do well. If they want to see me do well, so if my journey kind of like shifts, they will kind of know because they know me, and they will know how I act. So if my journey shifts, they will know. So when the journey shifts, I will like take a break. For example, I took a live break from I think it was 18th of June, a 12-day live fast, 18th of June to the I think it was the 1st of July because what my mentor Josiah told me is just July we're doing big things, music wise and spiritually wise and music wise, we're doing great things. So with the relationship with God, it's kind of off and on, but now we're getting in track because I have a lot of prophetic friends that can actually help me and
Mm,
guide me. For example, I can call them about anything. which I'm grateful to God for.
Yeah, that is really good. So, what's something God has shown you through your journey?
Um, God has showed me a lot of things. So when I'm playing, so I remember I made this post. When I'm playing, I'm not supposed to be playing for man. I think my youth mentor told me this. I'm not, because he's also a drummer. I'm not meant to be playing for man. I'm meant to be playing for God. So the skills that I play is very good, very very good. Um, I don't like to praise myself, but it's very very good. But I'm not supposed to play for man. I'm supposed to play for God. So only for God. So not for the people watching, not for the congregations watching, because that's when your flesh will take over. So not
Yeah.
from the congregation you're supposed to play for. You're supposed to play for your one and true God.
Yeah.
So me.
Thank you so much. Now, let me ask you, Ashley, how has your relationship with God shaped your journey as a musician?
Okay. Right. So I mentioned earlier that it's only 2 years in to my journey that's when I really got passionate about it. And the reason for it is that's kind of when it clicked for me in the sense of, in the first few years, I was just doing it to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then 2 years in, I was at a conference. I think I was playing at a conference. And that's when it really clicked that as I'm playing my keys, I'm not just playing keys. It's an act of worship. It's a way of ministering unto God. And that's when it really clicked. And that's when like I started to even use me playing keys as a way of like getting closer to God. Like for now, like for instance, let's say before I'd be practicing, it's more like a just practicing to practice. Whereas, let's say I'm to practice now, it can start off as a practice, but it can even become something more. Because when I'm playing my keys, I really do feel like closer to God. Like it's my way of talking to Him, it's my way of getting closer to Him. But I feel like that definitely changed the journey, and it even changed the way that I like think about it, like
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of, I think when I was before, let's say I've been asked to go and play somewhere,
Yeah.
the way I'd describe it, for me in my head, it'd be like, okay, this is a gig. The reason I say this word gig, I feel like though you can mean something else by saying it, the connotations of it is you kind of associate it with the world. Like
Yeah.
let's say I'm gonna go play for a rock band or I've got a gig, da 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 da. Da. Whereas I kind of even started to feel convicted saying calling things a gig. Now I say, oh, I'm going to go and minister somewhere. I'm going to go and
Yeah.
play somewhere that's not my home church. So it really did shape the way that I see everything that I do.
Okay, yeah, that is good. So, has God ever opened a door you weren't expecting because of it?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Mm.
yes, definitely. What example can I give? Okay, say this year there was an event that I was asked to play at. And at first, when I was asked to play at the event, I didn't realize the scale of the event. So when it was time for the event, and I'm seeing the event, I'm like, whoa, like there's so many people here. This stage is so big. The setup is so sophisticated, and it was even scary at first.
Mm.
But as I did it, I can't remember who says this exactly, but there's a saying, and it's like God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, though in those initial moments I was putting myself down, I was like, what are you doing here? Like you're not ready for this, you're not qualified for this. It's just like remembering that, and that sometimes God sends us into situations and we think that we're unequipped, but he's there. Like
Yeah.
with when he gave Moses his assignment, Moses was scared. Moses was like, are you sure I can do this, God? Like me. But God was like, I'll be with you. And that's even something that I carry with me now
Yeah.
whenever I feel those feelings. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's definitely opened doors for me.
That's great to hear. So, I'll move to the next question. So, obviously, you both use your gift to serve God. So, I want to ask, What does serving through music mean to you personally? So I'll now go back to Ashley.
What does serving through music mean to me? Okay. I'll say it means a few different things. One of the things is, and it's something that I've kind of been dwelling on lately, is sometimes when I'm serving by playing my keys, it's also a way of encouraging others
Mm-hmm.
to work to reveal their gifts and to use their gifts as well to serve God.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is if I can like go specifically onto the topic of female instrumentalists and how there's a lot less female instrumentalists than there is male instrumentalists.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I'll just be playing and I think I'm just playing, that's that. But there's people that will see that and kind of be inspired and kind of feel encouraged to unhide some of the gifts that they've been hiding.
Yeah.
Like for instance, with me, before I started, there's another girl that also plays keys. We were at the same church for a while as well, and she plays keys. And the fact that I saw her playing keys, a girl, that kind of pushed me to feel comfortable to even start
Mm.
doing that. And like as I've kind of become more visible on TikTok, I've been like talking to a lot more girls, and they'll be like, I really wanted to learn keys, but because I haven't seen many girls, I've felt kind of discouraged. But they've been like, because I've seen you've been so visible playing your keys.
Wow.
Now I want to take that step. Now I want to do that.
Wow.
And each time it happens, I'm just like, that's why it's important sometimes to let your gifts shine
Yeah.
because it can even spark someone else's light. But yeah,
That's really, really, really great to hear. So, is there a specific way where you prepare before a service?
yes,
Mm.
I like to kind of operate under this saying that you can't take people to a place you haven't been. What I mean by that is when you're serving as an instrumentalist, you're you're helping usher people into realms. You're helping to usher them into God's presence. And it's a thing of, let's say you come and you've not been kind of dwelling in his words, dwelling in his presence. It's gonna be difficult to usher people where into his presence. Let's say you've been dwelling in worldly things, we've been dwelling in the world. Where are you going to usher people?
Mm.
So I like to let's say it's Sunday. I just like to dwell in God's presence. Sometimes even I wake up a bit early, read my word, listen to I love my gospel music, listen to my gospel music, and just kind of you know, come ready to kind of usher people where I've been, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So, now to you, Elliot. What does serving through music? Wait, no. Yeah. What does serving through music mean to you personally?
For me, when it comes to serving through music, I think there's still God. Serving through music is serving God. So let that be, for example, the setting I'm going to use is church. So when you serve through God, when you serve my instrument, for example, when I'm serving drums, I'm serving God. So I'm literally giving my thanks and praises um unto God. There's this scripture. I'm gonna find it. Give me a second. There's a scripture that I always refer to when it comes to serving when you're playing your instrument. Give me a second.
That's fine.
Psalm 33. It says basically play skillfully with a shout of joy. It's Colossians 13. Colossians 3:16 says, with gratitude in your hearts to God, sing and make music. In 1 Samuel 16, verse 16, it says, the young David played his harp to bring peace to King Saul. And basically, he played his harp to bring peace. For me, what that tape means to me is basically the music that you play, it could bring peace, comfort, and encouragement to those who listen, and it could lead others to Christ. So, for example, let me link this to my TikTok lives when it comes to worship lives. So we have different bassists, keyboardists, drummers. When they all play their instruments, for example, me as well. When I play my drums, when they play their instruments, everybody gets blessed. And for TikTok, where that blessed means a follow. So for me, that kind of means basically you're getting blessed when you play, when you serve God, when you're playing your instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, what's something you've learned through serving?
I'll say this again, by not serving through man, but
Mhm.
serving through God. So to always put God first, always just
Yeah.
not to like play just to play, just not to play. For example, coming to church when you feel like it, picking choir practice dates when you actually feel like it,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
all of that. I used to do that, but not anymore. Obviously, I changed for the glory of God. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Now, I know every journey has its difficult moments. So, what's been one of the biggest challenges you've faced? And I'll begin with Ashley.
The biggest challenges I've faced. Okay. I'll say this one links to being in kind of a male-dominated field,
Mm.
but I feel like you definitely encounter different types of people who respond differently to seeing you serving. Like, for instance, I'll say most people, they're like very supportive, very encouraging, very like just very normal, if that kind of makes sense. But of course, there's always going to be a few people who are kind of, I don't know whether it's intimidation or they try to undermine what you do. Like, for instance, let's say I've improved, they'll automatically assume, say, oh, who taught you? Who taught you? In the sense of it kind of implies that you can't get good by yourself, that I can't get good by myself because I'm a girl. And
Mm.
it's kind of a thing that sometimes it can be discouraging, but kind of linking to what Elliot was saying, you have to remember who you're doing it for,
Yeah.
and that you're not doing it for man, you're doing it for God, and God's, that's all that matters. So no matter what people say, no matter what people think, or if people discourage you, at the end of the day, it's about what God thinks. So that's what's encouraged me and pushed me through.
That is true. That is really, really, really true. Now, to you, Elliot, what's been one of the biggest challenges you've faced?
For me, when it comes to drums, I'm gonna link this to my experiences. So I'm sure you guys know about when you get bounced off the drums. So that has been if I speak, I'll activate. I promise I'll activate. So when it comes to being bounced off the drums, it's a very difficult experience, but it's actually what they call character development. Do you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
when you're the meaning of being bounced off the drums is basically like, uh, a drummer that's better than you comes and you're gone. You're gone off the drums.
Yeah.
Like you can't play the drums. He has to come and take over. Do you get what I mean? For example, a worship night, a gig, or just your home church. It hasn't been discouraging, but it's been annoying, frustrating, and but it's like character development. The second difficult moment is something I call substitution. For example, when different instrumentalists or different singers, they find different instrumentalists for to play. If you're not playing to your best of your ability, you're doing something not right. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be very discouraging. For example, it could be discouraging for me because, let's say, for example, I was playing for my church and I came all the way from choir practice to I came all the way from my home to choir practice, for example, and I didn't get to play drums. That could be very discouraging, very annoying, but thank God that hasn't happened yet, and it will never happen in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, looking back, are you thankful for what you learned?
yeah, I am. I'm very thankful for what I've learned. I've learned a lot when it comes to playing drums and potentially keys. I played keys in church one time, but with that one-time experience, one time is a lot for me. One is big for me
Yeah.
because who knows, that one time you can get so many gigs of that. You just have to be consistent. But I'm very thankful that I've even had the opportunity to actually learn how to play drums, to actually play for my church, to actually be mentioned, play for my church, to be one of the best skilled musicians, no glaze, in my church.
Okay, that's good because even I know myself, I'm a musician myself, so I know there's a lot to learn when it comes to being a musician, whether it's being on keys,
100%.
whether it's being on bass, drums, any type of instruments, there's a lot to learn. Whether it's the actual like instrument you're learning or the character building that you have to build, it's a lot. And thank you so much for sharing that. So, for the next question, what's one moment in your music journey that you'll never forget? And I'll start with Ashley.
Oh no, I have a lot to say on this. Okay,
Nice.
say this. Yeah, this is something that's happened. The thing is, this has happened too often. Yeah, this has happened like 3 times. The first time, what happened was it was a rehearsal. Start with the first time. It was a rehearsal,
Mm.
and I couldn't hear myself properly. I was
Oh,
playing second keys. I couldn't hear properly. So when everyone switched to the next key, I wasn't I wasn't aware in the sense of I thought we were on the same one. So we were playing the song and I'm just kind of like I'm playing. I'm not sure what I'm playing. And then
oh,
I hear the recordings back and I listen to it and I'm like, "Huh, I'm in the wrong key." And
oh,
that was dark. But then everyone was like, "Nah, it's a case rehearsal." Then if we have like another instance, once again, I was playing second keys, but this wasn't rehearsal. This is why it's darker. It
oh,
wasn't rehearsal. It was a proper event.
wow.
And I was playing second keys again.
Mm,
And in my defense, the what's it called? The sound system, they didn't have enough time to set everything up properly.
mm,
So it's the kind of venue where you kind of need your in-ears like set up properly to hear what's
yes.
going on because the room was big.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, so they didn't have time for that. So I couldn't hear. And there was definitely a point in which I was playing in the wrong key, which was quite dark because when you go and listen to the live stream, it was like the front of house was very clear. You could hear that was off. And
Yeah.
like I feel like after that I was kind of like I was a bit discouraged for a bit because I was like, actually, as someone like who plays instruments and you've been playing for a bit of time now, how can this keep on happening? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I think there was even a time I was like, oh, what if I just quit now? What if I just quit? But I was talking to who was I talking to? Was it my MD? It might have been my MD. But I was talking about that, and then he was like, if you ask everyone, those that have been playing even for longer than you, it happens to all of us. Like it's a canon event. It's a part of life. It
Yeah.
happens. But it's about what you do afterwards. You just have to keep on pushing. And that's just something I learned.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I know that experience because it's happened to me as well. Even
Oh
during
no.
my children's day, it was one of my first actual time where I was playing for my church, and because I didn't know much because obviously I was young by then, they were trying to set everything up, and because I also didn't have my in-ears, I had to borrow one, which the earmuff, the bit that goes inside your ear, it was also big, so it didn't actually enter my ears. So I also couldn't hear much. So whilst I was playing, I was just playing, and then obviously the key changed, and I didn't know it until they had to come, use the transpose button, transpose it, and then I was just continuing
Not
pushing.
the transpose button.
Oh
Not the
Yeah,
transpose
no.
button.
they used the transpose
No
button.
transpose 26.
But yeah, so the same question back to you, Elliot. Gosh, what was the moment in your music journey that you'll never forget?
For me, when it comes to what's it? The same thing of Ashley's, but kind of different. Learn your musicians, learn the songs that have been given on group chat because you don't want to have to stay an extra 5 hours during practice. Okay, that's a drag. An extra 2 hours during practice because you don't know the songs or getting jumped off the drums or any instrument because you actually don't know the songs. Because
Mm,
that's kind of it's a skill issue on your behalf because why are you not learning the songs? And it's kind of like laziness and being disorganized. But for me, I used to be a victim of that. I used to like always not learn the songs. For example, there was this one time, I think it was a worship night,
Ooh.
but there was no practices, by the way.
Mm.
There was a worship night, no practices. So I didn't learn the songs at all. So when it came to that worship night, I think 50%, no, 70% of the songs I jammed it on. I wasn't playing to the best of my abilities.
Mm.
My inners wasn't working.
Oh.
Because it wasn't my home church, so I didn't know how the sound system works and how everything used to work.
Yeah.
Because it was a kind of a big church, you get what I mean? And they live streamed it.
Yeah.
So that's even so dark as well. Because you know when you're live streaming, do you get what I mean? And you have to
pressure
look
is on.
back. Pardon?
Yeah, the pressure is on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have to look back at the video, I have to delete it. I have to delete that from my memory. Do you get what I mean? Learn when it comes to being a musician. Learn the songs that are given in the group chat, because you don't have to end up jamming, and then your reputation gets elsewhere. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And one more thing. Sorry. One more thing. When it comes to playing the drums, for example, me, do not be very like. For example, I'm going to say, do not fight over your instrument. As much as you have a passion for it, the next guy has a passion for it as well. So, for example, another drummer has a passion for playing that instrument. Do not fight over that instrument, because that will make you both look like a fool. Do you get?
Wow.
So it will make you look like a fool. Just keep playing. Just don't fight over it for your instruments.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to go to the behind the scenes. That's what I'm going to call it. So people usually see what's happening on the stage. So what's something they don't get to see? And I'll go with Ashley this time.
Something they don't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't see the learning process, like getting a song list, and you just look at the songs and you're like, oh no, like this is gonna take me a bit of time to learn. They don't see that part. I feel like they just kind of see the polished part.
Yeah.
They see the end result, and sometimes like they'll even like, let's say for instance, I like to say like you might feel like you're not appreciated enough, but at the end of the day, it's about who you're doing it for. If you're
Yeah.
doing it for, let's say we're doing it for man, let's say it's a gig, it's a carnal gig. You're doing it for man, and they don't appreciate you. Fair enough, but because we're doing it for God, you just kind of, just know that God will reward you in heaven. But the behind the scenes, like, yeah, it's definitely something. Like
Yeah.
there'll be times, let's say I've got a rehearsal the next day. I'll be breathing, and sleeping that song list. Like in my dreams, I'm dreaming of that song list, and
Wow.
it's like, hey, like the things you have to do. But that's just what you have to do to be prepared and be ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now for you, Elliot.
For me, it comes with exactly the learning process. For example, I'm going to relate this to a singer's perspective. If you're playing your instrument, if you're singing basically, and you're creating your set list, basically, for example, when the singers create their set list, they create it based on the theme. For example, if the theme is warfare, they'll like add songs like chants, Yahweh will manifest himself, we hail you, yeah, them type of songs. If it's based on other songs like coming back to God's, like Heart of Worship, Withholding Nothing, basically all of that, it's based on the theme of the songs. If you get what I mean. A funny approach is the talkback mics. So
Yeah.
when it comes to the talkback mics, it's a funny one basically, because that you can't. No one in the house can actually hear what's in the talkback mics except for the musicians and what they wear in the headphones. You get what I mean? It's kind of like it's so people, the musicians, they can say some funny stuff. I've been a victim of that. I've said some funny stuff to like the keyboardist, the bassist. If you see us smiling, if you watch some TikTok videos, if you see me smiling, no, I've said some funny stuff. I can't lie. When it comes to the talkback, it's like also coordination. Do you get what I mean? For
Mhm.
example, band hits. If you want to call a little 654, you can call that to the band and they will like literally play that as the preacher's going on. If you want to do a little syncopation, like that's the talkback necessary. And it's also good to not have a talkback as well, so you can actually communicate. You can learn to communicate with it without a talkback. For example, when I played in the studio, I didn't have a talkback, so it was very difficult because I didn't know how to communicate without actually saying the wrong thing. Do you get what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Thank you so much. There might be someone listening who's thinking about learning an instrument or joining the church worship team or just something. So, what advice would you give them? And obviously, you guys have given a lot of advice. So, I want to ask, what is the most important advice you would give them? So, I'll ask you, Ashley, first.
Okay, I'd say the most important advice I can give is to stick with it, especially for something like keys, but it can like apply to other things. But the thing I've learned and I've observed over time is that almost everyone that I've encountered will say that they tried learning piano at some point. Most people. And then when I always ask what happened, like why are you not playing it now? Why have you not advanced? And they always say, "Oh, I just it was just too hard or I just couldn't stick with it."
Yeah.
But the few people that you do see playing, they stuck with it even when it was annoying, even when it was hard. And that's the best thing I can say. Like even me, there was a time I had stopped, but I had to come back to it. I had to stick with it because if you commit to something, like let's commit to it. Let's learn
Yeah.
the instrument and just get through the hard times.
Yeah. That is true. Thank you so much. Now, for you, Elliot, what is your most important advice?
For me, my most important advice is when it comes to drums, know your fundamentals. Don't make the same mistake I did where I'm taking shortcuts basically because I want to learn drums faster. Even though I am very good at playing the drums, and again, no glaze, people tell me I'm good at drums. It's coming to like basically I don't know most of my fundamentals as a drummer. So when it comes to paradiddles, your sticking, your chops, how to play, um, what's it, your rudiments. I know this is big words if you're not a drummer, but don't worry, yeah, you'll get there. So I feel like when it comes to that, know your fundamentals first, so
Mm,
you can actually progress as a drummer. You don't like have to go back and learn the basics. It's like basically learning, for example, math. For example, you got algebra
yeah,
as like the main. You get what I mean?
yeah,
And you don't have to go back and learn 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, one times 1. Do you get what I mean?
yeah,
So that's kind of like a stumbling block if you don't do that. Do you get? And you want to take shortcuts, kind of like stick to it first because when people ask me how do I chop, how do I what's the sticking for the chop, because I had this conversation with my friend Zion on TikTok live yesterday. He asked me if anyone was trying to tell you if you were to play your sticking, your chops, how would you approach them? For
mm,
me, it's like what's it called, I wouldn't know how to go with it. I have to learn the sticking to actually like give them an answer. Because if it's basically a long chop, for example, I wouldn't know what to do. So
mm,
that's something that's not what you need to do. Learn your fundamentals. So when people ask you how can you play this chop, how can you play the sticking, you can actually you can provide them an answer. You don't like seem unprofessional or like, oh, this guy's not serious when it comes to playing drums. Oh, move away. Not none of that. Do you get what I mean?
yeah. Okay. So let me ask you, how can someone keep God at the center of their music then?
Keep God at the center of music. When it, for example, drums, pray as much as you play the drums.
Mm,
Exactly. I'm gonna say that. Pray as much as you play the drums. So as much as you practice and play the drums, pray more. Okay, pray more pray more. For example, every time you're gonna play the drums, pray that you are, God, help me to learn new things. Help me that I won't mess up and all of that. Pray, read your Bible, and just like have a good relationship with God because when you're playing the drums, when you're playing drums or and I keep referring to drums when you play instruments in church. and you don't have a good commitment or relationship with God, it's like, what are you actually doing? Bro to bro, what are you doing? You need to have you need to have a good commitment when it comes to your relationship with God, because it's kind of like useless. Why are you in church if you don't know how to play a certain instrument? You get what I mean? Why are you in church if your commitment isn't that good, but you're playing drums just to show off? If you see, or if you see, if you see a fine babe in the congregation, like loud, like please.
Yeah, and I'm guessing so because a lot of the drummers, how they do like how they play when there's like a chance. For example, I'll say like Deeper Experience. That music, that's one of my favorites. So I believe that the drummer should pray first before like it should that person should carry on, because obviously when you're trying to do like a chant and you're drumming to it, it needs to be spirit filled, and it needs to catch that sort of atmosphere. So I'm guessing that requires a lot of prayer, right? Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we're getting close to the end. So I'm gonna ask some quick fire rounds. So this is just to have a little fun, once it gets to the end. So let me first ask: coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Why coffee?
I don't know, actually, I don't know what you're saying. It's tea, bro. It's tea.
No, coffee. I appreciate both, but coffee is just the one.
I'm pretty sure that's bitter.
Please.
It depends how you make it. Mine's not bitter. Mine, I put oat milk, I put sugar, I put just 1 teaspoon of coffee. Mine's leng.
Okay. And why tea?
Coffee can get. I prefer tea because if you're having a cold or something, or if you want to stay warm, you can have tea. Imagine having coffee when you're ill, and that does not sit. That doesn't sit right. Do you get what I mean? I will actually say with having coffee, you can get addicted to coffee. Do you get what I mean? Because coffee, it has caffeine in it. Do you get what I mean?
You can get
But there's
addicted
some
to
coffee,
tea.
huh?
You can get addicted to
You
I
can get
was addicted to tea.
Yeah, swear, not me though, not me though.
Okay.
Not me.
Sober.
Thank you so much, Vicky. So let me ask the second question: morning or night?
Ooh.
Nights. Nights.
Feel like I prefer morning, but I spend most of my time doing things at night. So it's not by choice.
Okay. So what's your favorite worship song for both of you?
Touch the hem of his garment. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, we know.
Guys, I'm putting you onto the song. I'm putting you onto the song, by the way.
Okay. Thank you.
I love Oh, be lifted above all other gods.
Yeah.
That's been my song for like 2 years now.
We lay your crowns. Yeah, that song.
Okay, vocals.
This is
Say nothing.
okay. What's your favorite Bible verse? And don't say John 10:30. I am my father I want, because that's the easiest one.
I'd say John. No, what? No, I'd say Psalm 91 because I remember I used to be part of the children ministry, and what I remember is because I keep in the video. I was saying at 2 years old Psalm 91, the whole of Psalm 91.
Wow.
So and that verse states because it's very powerful. Do you get what I mean? That scripture is so powerful. For example, when you're going to sleep, imagine you're having sleep paralysis, God forbid, or you watched a horror film and that entered your dream, God forbid, again. You can just pray before you go to bed, Psalm 91, and it won't happen. That's what happens for me. I pray Psalm 91 every time before I go to bed. Nothing actually happens. I sleep like a baby.
That's good. That's really good. So I'll probably know this one, but who is your favorite musicians?
Favorite musician. That's a techie one.
Oh, that's a very technical.
Actually, no, I do know. So, it's techie because I can't pronounce his name. That's why it's techie. Okay, South African. There's a gospel artist called Ntokozo Mbambo,
Okay.
and she works with her husband. He also plays keys. I'm not gonna try and butcher his name. Uh, I think I even heard him play live once, was that 2, 3 years ago, and I just love the way he plays. Like he plays, wow.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
feel like
I know, yeah, you say what you want to say.
with me when it comes with that, anybody know someone called Calvin Rogers or JJ Williams on Instagram?
Mm,
JJ Williams is kind of a funny one because as much as you're playing the drums, it's a very funny way of playing the drums because he like brings more comedy when you're playing the drums, and Calvin Rogers brings more like drums when you're playing drums. If you get what I mean?
yeah.
Not saying JJ Williams have like he doesn't play drums properly. Or he's not good at that, but they're both very good. They're
Mm,
both very good.
okay. So, I already know your one, Elliot, but what is your dream worship team or artist to play with?
My dream.
Jeremy, what's mine?
Gosh, I completely forgot. It is either warehouse or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
you've said it
keyboardist.
you said it many times.
Yeah. When it comes to keyboardists as well, I'd love to have J Rhythm, CJ Brand Music, Yannick. Yo, those three combinations. Yeah, I want a little head. 5, CJ 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4, Yannick 3, 2, 1. Like, oh, if I hear
Oh,
those, yeah, I will either faint or I will descend. Do you know what I mean? It's either one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
me, I'd love to play for once again, I'm a big Focus and Bamboo fan, but
Mm,
also even emoji music, like
yes.
that would be something.
Yeah.
That'd
Yo,
be
boy.
something.
And the thing
hmm
is, I also know a lot of people who auditioned for his next like music thing, and it's one of the people I really close with as well. So that's very interesting for me personally, because
hmm
I may get like a free ticket or something because I know the BV.
That's pretty
Hey,
cool.
Jeremy, I might shout you still for a
Mm.
ticket, you know.
Uh,
My boy. My boy.
So, what is your favorite place you've ever played?
Hmm. Favorite place to play?
For
Oh,
me,
that's tough.
I feel like for me, my favorite place to actually play drums or keys. Let's start keys first. Basically, in my sixth form, I go to a school and a sixth form, so I'm known as a drummer. Do you get what I mean? So the school knows I'm a drummer.
Mm,
I'm the drummer of our school. Basically, a mascot for related to drums. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So when it comes to playing keys, I've started playing keys for my church. I remember because I go to a Catholic school. The last mass we played on keys, second keys, and drums. So I played orcs and drums.
Wow.
So when I played keys, when I wanted to practice, I'll just go to the music room, literally just practice. There's a saying, music is therapy. So when I'm having a bad day, not necessarily in school, but when it comes to school, when I'm having a bad day, I'll just go to the music room, play a little bit of drums, play a little bit of keys, invite other musicians in my school, for example, a bassist, to actually like help me, not to help me, but like to actually shed together. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as much as you have friends from different, from my school that doesn't know how to play instruments, they're talented in different ways. It's very good to have musician friends as well in school.
Yeah, it really is because I have many, to be honest. And hopefully he'll be coming
100%.
for my next episode. Yeah. Yeah. So, what is one word you would describe your journey?
I would say rewarding in the sense of, yeah, it's not always going to be easy, but at the end of the day, I feel fulfilled even after all the challenges I face because of the outcome. Like, let's say today I was even playing keys. I've been having a lot of struggles when it comes to my keys, like equipment breaking and all these things. But at the end of it, I'm still here. I'm still playing my keys. I still know how to play my instrument.
Yeah.
And God is still good. So yeah, rewarding would be my word.
Thank you. What about you, Elliot?
I feel like for me, it's basically the same thing with Ashley. It's basically the same thing with Ashley.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, what's next for both of you then? Is there any exciting projects, events, recordings, or opportunities coming up?
I might need to gatekeep those, you know.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, nah.
Oh yeah, this one's for Ashley. She recently hit 10K on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she hit
Yeah.
10K on TikTok.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
try my
glaze by the way.
best.
If you tell me I'm glazed, yeah, I'll activate.
Or remedy.
But yeah,
But yeah, I try my best, you know. God is doing His thing.
That's good. So, before we finish, I would love everyone listening to know where they can keep up with what you're doing. So, Ashley, where can people find you? Feel free to share your social media, any music you've been involved in, or anything you would like people to check out, basically.
If anyone wants to see more from me, I would direct them to my TikTok, which is Ashley_Ruva. That's spelled so Ashley ASHLEY_RUVA. And there should be a link in my bio with my link tree to my other socials. But that's where you will see a lot of me. Maybe too much.
Thank you so much. I'll probably get your link tree and then put it in the description of the podcast.
Oh, God bless, God bless.
No problem. So brilliant. So I'll make sure those are done. And now for you, Elliot, what about you?
for me, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and basically those three for now. So TikTok is Elliot ELLIOT .music with 2 underscores at the end. Same with my Instagram is ELLIOT NZEYIMANA, which is my full name, and underscore there. And my Snap is the same as my TikTok.
Okay.
If you can hear more about the Directed by Jesus movement made by me through, you can just come talk to me, send me a message. We'll let you get involved in that, because soon we might have a worship night face to face soon come, who knows.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. So once again, all of Ashley's and Elliot's link will be in this episode description, so make sure you go and support them. Now, this is the bit. Ashley and Elliot, thank you both so much for taking the time to come on the sound journey. It's honestly been great, really, really great hearing your stories, and I know everyone listening will have been encouraged by what you've shared today. So thank you so much. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to follow the Sound Journey on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music, and YouTube, so you'll never miss an episode. So if today's episode encouraged you, please consider sharing it with a friend, your family, your church, most important, or anyone who loves Christian music. So it really helps the podcast grow and helps more people hear these amazing stories as well. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
You're right, 100%.
Yeah.
You're right.
Thank you. So thank you so much for listening. Until next time, keep trusting God, keep using the gift He's given you, keep encouraging others, and remember, every artist has a story. Every song has a journey. God bless you all, and we will see you in the next episode.